Hey everyone, welcome to another session of Razzle Dazzle Physics. In this video guys, I'm going to be walking you through the derivation of PV is equal to a third nm c squared. Notice this is going to be the mean square speed, but I'll explain that later on in the video. So this is going to be a long video, just bear with me as I walk you through it. Right, so the first thing we're going to look at is the following diagram. So over here we've got a particle inside a box. Yes, this is going to represent a gas. So the particle is traveling across, it's going to travel, hit the container of the gas, hit the container and then travel all the way backwards again. Let's say the distance in this direction is going to be x. We're going to say the initial velocity is going to be u in the x-plane over here. That's going to be my initial velocity in the x-plane. Let's talk about the force and the rate of change of momentum. So first of all, we should recognize that force is equal to the change in momentum divided by the time taken. Okay, so therefore F is therefore equal to m. Don't forget change in momentum. It will be the final velocity minus the initial velocity divided by the time taken over here. There we go. Then from here we can then open up, we can plug in the velocity. So let's say the particle travels, hits it and returns back let's say this is upon return, it will be moving at the same velocity but in the opposite direction. So minus ux. Yes, so minus means the direction has changed. We can now plug that in. So therefore this becomes F is equal to m, the final velocity, minus ux because it's initial. Don't forget, because I'm going to the right, it's positive, divided by the time taken over here. So therefore this becomes F is equal to 2m minus ux times by t over here. So therefore F is equal to 2m, well, I'll put the minus in front, ux divided by the time taken over here. F is equal to minus 2. I'll just make that a bit nicer for us to see. F is equal to, over here, F is equal to minus 2mux divided by the time taken over here. Then we're going to look at the time taken. So we can talk about the velocity of it. Let's say it's going to travel, hit that wall and travel back again. So the velocity, ux, in that way, it's going to be equal to the distance traveled, which will be going there and back, will be equal to 2x divided by t, because we're going to go there and back again. So it's the time taken for you to go all the way across and all the way back again. Then from here we can rearrange this to say t is equal to 2x divided by ux over here. Then we can plug that into the bottom bit over there. So replacing t in this equation, this therefore becomes F is equal to minus 2mux divided by the 2x goes at the bottom and the ux goes on top. Yes, the ux goes on top over here. Therefore, this now becomes that the 2 cancels out at the bottom. It becomes mux squared over here divided by x, that distance over here. There we go. Right, okay, there's a minus sign over here, but don't forget, because it's a force, that just means the direction of it, which way it's going to be facing. So we're going to just leave it as over here, F is equal to mux squared divided by x over here. That's going to be our formula, which we're going to just pause for a second over here. Now from here, we're going to talk about the pressure. So the pressure, what would the pressure be? Hopefully you recognize that to work out the pressure, we notice that pressure is equal to force divided by the area. Yes? Right, what is the force? We've got the force over here. It's going to be mux squared divided by x. But the area, look carefully at this, the area will be this bit over here, this area here. We're talking about the area of the wall, this area over here, that's going to be x squared. So that area, don't forget, let's put that down, area is equal to x squared. Therefore that goes into here, that therefore becomes mux squared divided by x, oh sorry, that's still force, don't forget we've got to divide it by the area, yes, so force at the top divided by the area divided by x squared. So therefore this now becomes mux squared divided by x cubed. There we go. So that's going to be the value of the pressure. So there we go, pressure is equal to mux squared divided by x cubed. Just let's put that down, make it nice and easy for us to see. P is equal to mux squared divided by x cubed. Right, well what is x cubed? Don't forget, x cubed will be what in this diagram? It will be x times by x times by x, which is the same as the volume of the container. So therefore this now becomes, let's go over here, mux squared divided by v, because we then said that x cubed will be equal to v. X cubed will be equal to v. Right, now from here we can therefore say that this is for one particle. Yes, one particle over here. Just one particle moving. But there won't be just one particle, there will be many particles, n number of particles. So n means the total number of particles. Total number of particles, yes. So therefore, for one of them, it will be p is equal to mux squared divided by v. But for n number of particles, we can then put down the following formula that p is equal to nmux squared divided by v over here. That's going to be my formula. P is equal to nmux squared divided by v. Okay, now we've got this formula, we can then now talk about the mean square speed. Right, so looking at this diagram right now, we notice that it's going to be moving in this direction, in the x-plane. But don't forget, it'll also be moving in the y direction, yes, upwards, and there will also be particles moving in the z direction as well. So we've got to account for all of that here. So we can now talk about the mean square speed. The best way to talk about this is going to be that we notice that due to Pythagoras' theorem that the mean square speed will be given by c squared over here, yes, and it will be equal to the velocities in the x-plane squared plus the velocity in the y-plane squared plus the velocities in the z-plane squared over here. There we go. Excellent stuff. Right, so now we're also going to make the following assumption that we're going to say that roughly all of the velocities are going to be equal, that the velocities of the particles moving in the x-plane will be equal to the velocity of the particles moving in the y-plane. So we're therefore going to make the following assumption that ux is equal to uy, and which is equal to uz over here. So it's roughly all the same here. So therefore this becomes ux squared plus ux squared plus ux squared. Again, you have 3 times because we said they're all roughly the same. Don't forget all the velocities are the same in all directions right now. Therefore this now becomes c squared is equal to therefore 3ux squared over here is equal to this. And don't forget this is the mean square speed. Let's write that down over here. This is the mean square speed. Yeah, basically it's going to be, you know, the mean of all the squares of the speeds. Yeah, that's the reason why it's called a mean square speed. So if we square up all the speeds and take the mean of them, that's what it would represent. So therefore, finally, this there becomes that ux squared will be equal to 1/3 of the mean square speed. Excellent stuff. Now we can then whack that into the top one over here. This one goes into this one over here. So therefore it now becomes, scrolling down, we're going to get the following formula that P is equal to nm1/3 c squared divided by v. Yes, and then making that look jazzy, it will now become, finally, just scrolling down underneath, the v goes up, PV is equal to 1/3 nm c squared. Excellent stuff over here. Very good. Right, so let me just highlight that as we're now done. There's also another formula for density. So don't forget, we can also recognize that density, rho, is equal to mass divided by volume. Yes, mass divided by volume. And don't forget, you've got the mass, total mass. Total mass will be equal to the number of particles times by the mass of each one, which we've got over here. That's m. Yes, that's going to be the mass of the particles right now. And then we're going to divide that by v, so therefore density is equal to this. We can now replace, if we want to rearrange it, then P is equal to 1/3 nm over v, and then c squared. And then look, you can see that, look, the nm over v over here is going to be replaced by the density. So therefore this equation now becomes the pressure is equal to 1/3 over here times by the number of, times by the density, rho, don't forget plus P, that's rho, times by c squared over here. So finally we've derived the last formula. Excellent stuff. So I hope you understand that, how I've actually done that. Make sure that when you're learning this yourself that you obviously pause the video and try and write down the bits which you find tricky. For me, when I'm trying to explain it to kids, there's a couple of bits like stop points that you should, like checkpoints that you should recognize. The first one is recognizing that you should always talk about the force is equal to the change of momentum divided by time taken. And the second thing which loads of kids forget is that the velocity changes. So that's why it's 2 mux over here, because you're doing final minus initial, which means you double up. So it becomes 2 mux, not they cancel out. And then recognizing that you've got force, change of momentum divided by time, you've got pressure is equal to force divided by the area, then incorporating the mean square speed, so make sure you can able to do this, the little assumption that we made as well, and then throwing it all in to derive our formula over here. And that's it for another session of Razzle Dazzle Physics. I hope you hit the like and subscribe button to keep my channel going, and good luck in your studies. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.